regulatory and compliance needs that we're going to face on this journey. And for that, Coalfire was the obvious solution.
Well, thank you very much for that. I am slightly biased myself and tend to agree. No, we can cut that part out. Hello, I'm Greg Martin, Vice President of Managed Services with Coalfire.
And I'm Alex Levinson, Head of Security with Scale AI.
So Alex, can you tell me a little bit about Scale, a little bit about your role and the vision behind Scale's security and compliance needs?
Absolutely, Greg. So Scale AI is accelerating the development of artificial intelligence capabilities at our customers. We have a cloud-native platform on the commercial side where we service companies all across multiple different sectors, everything from autonomous vehicles, big tech, insurance, finance. We have a diverse client suite where we ultimately are helping them change the world through their products and services being AI enabled.
That's very fascinating, Alex. Can you talk a little bit about the compliance and security needs and how that pertains to your business?
It's an interesting question, Greg. We move so fast as a company. We have to evolve, so our compliance program has to evolve. We try and solve problems for the company and say, how can we find ways to say yes to everything the company wants to do? How can we enable the business through security instead of holding it back and handicapping it?
Alex, can you talk a little bit about Scale AI's business drivers and what was really the force behind wanting to pursue FedRAMP authorization?
Yeah, definitely, Greg. So when we started to look at how do we get into the federal government, how do we translate what Scale does into a federal paradigm, FedRAMP was the obvious solution. It is the compliance framework that allows for companies to offer SaaS services to the federal government. We just went right off the gate into a FedRAMP high. We decided to say, how do we take our commercial platform that is very cloud native, very tied in with AWS, how do we take that and put that into a FedRAMP high, federally secured and accredited environment? That's when we called you.
We love hearing that, Alex. Would you be able to speak a little bit about why you selected AWS and Coalfire to help you along this journey?
Definitely. So AWS for us was just the obvious choice. But then the question comes, who knows anything about FedRAMP? Who knows anything about how to make this, especially jumping into a FedRAMP high situation, how do we make this as secure as possible? That was something that myself and the rest of the team at Scale didn't have a lot of background and didn't have a lot of expertise in. So when we went out and said we need a partner in this, the big things we looked for was who can we partner with that has both the knowledge of AWS, can understand what Scale does and Scale's technology, and also understand the regulatory and compliance needs that we're going to face on this journey. And for that, Coalfire was the obvious solution.
Could you tell me a little bit about how Coalfire has helped you?
For sure, Greg. Coalfire came in, said, let's understand Scale, let's understand what Scale's business requirements are, and let's come up with a plan. After that, the ACE team came in, actually conducted a build of this environment. We chose instead to try and take our commercial environment and turn it into this highly regulated, highly compliant environment. We said, let's just build a separate environment for the government. That allowed us in the future to expand into IL5 and other even more secure offerings for the government. So we went on this journey to say, let's build out a second version of Scale targeted just for Scale Gov. After we did the build, the cloud managed service team that Coalfire provides, in effect, is just more people on the Scale team. All the Coalfire personnel that are working every day on everything from vulnerability management to doing a lot of our reporting requirements to helping us with site reliability. These are all functions that CMS provides Scale, and that we consider the Coalfire CMS team as essentially just a part of the Scale team in operation of this service.
What has been the greatest gain as a result of our partnership?
It's been great to see how Coalfire, Scale, and AWS together have been able to take what is an incredibly complicated infrastructure in a very cloud-native commercial SaaS product and get it to an audit-ready state, ready for the federal government in less than 90 days. It exceeded all expectations for how long I thought something like this would take for us to spin up from zero to a complete infrastructure. On top of that, if I go back and I look at what would this have cost us to do in-house, I think going with Coalfire and AWS on this partnership has allowed us a 50% OpEx reduction year over year in terms of what it's taking to operate this environment. We've been able to win a number of contracts with the federal government, offering them AI SaaS services, including a $90 million plus contract with the Army Research Lab for AI research and development capabilities. I think it's really important for other companies and leaders of other companies to recognize how you do business on the commercial sector is not the same cadence. It's not the same timelines. It's different in the federal world. If you can recognize that and understand what the government is actually needing and be able to provide that service to them, you've got a long-term customer who you can really help their bottom line, which ultimately is going to help yours.
I couldn't agree more. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for coming out and spending some time with us and sharing your perspective and your insights with us.
Anytime, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want to say definitely. Say government, and then I'll cue you up.
Government.
Sorry, you went too fast there.